लाइफ कोच आजकल हम बहुत सुनते हैं इस बारे में। इस वर्ड का मतलब क्या है?
I actually say performance coach.
तो सर आप हमसे स्पोर्ट्स पे बहुत ज़्यादा इन्वॉल्व है, ओलंपियन भी रहे हैं आप, और स्पोर्ट्स में भी आप कोचिंग वगैरह देते हैं। तो क्या डिफाइनिंग मोमेंट था आपकी लाइफ में कि आपने सोचा इस पाथ पे चलना है लाइफ
I had to swim through a river of to get to the light.
So, sir, if you had to distill your entire life coaching thing, life coaching career in one word, what it would be?
Learn to read the book.
क्या लगता है सोसाइटी में आज क्यों इतनी जरूरत पड़ गई है लाइफ कोचिंग की?
Why people are choosing it as a profession is simple. It's because they want to make some money.
एज अ लाइफ कोच आप सेंस कर पाते हैं कई बार कि somebody is pretending to be happy in front of you but there is something missing.
Is when somebody is frustrated. वो तो सिग्नल है ही है.
नमस्कार, मैं सिंप्लीफाइंग भारत के एक और एपिसोड के साथ आज एक बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक पे बात करने वाला हूँ, जो मैंने पिछले 5 साल में जिसका ट्रेंड मैंने थोड़ा ज़्यादा देखा है। और इस टॉपिक पे बात करने के लिए मेरे साथ एक बहुत एक्सपर्ट जो कनाडा से अभी कल ही लैंड किए थे और मेरी रिक्वेस्ट पे आज वो हमारे शो में है, मिस्टर राम नायर, जो खुद एक वर्ल्ड क्लास बैडमिंटन प्लेयर हैं, ओलंपिक कोच हैं, एक एस्टैब्लिश बिजनेसमैन है, कनाडा में रहते हैं, लेकिन पिछले 12 साल से वो लाइफ कोच एज अ लाइफ कोच भी खुद को इस्टेब्लिश कर चुके हैं कनाडा में, और एक बहुत बड़ी फ़ैन फॉलोइंग उनकी इस प्रोफेशन में है, इस स्पेशलाइजेशन में है। आज हम जानेंगे अबाउट लाइफ कोचिंग, व्हाट इज़ लाइफ कोचिंग, और ये पिछले 10 साल में इसका ट्रेंड क्यों बढ़ गया है, क्या चीज़ ऐसी है जो लोग लाइफ कोचेस से सॉल्यूशन चाहते हैं, और ये प्रोफेशन में हमारे पास जो रेट्स हैं वो किस हिसाब से इंक्रीज़ हो रहा है, क्या ऐसी सोसाइटी में फैक्टर्स आने हैं कि आज हमें लाइफ कोच की ज़रूरत पड़ी है। इन सारे एस्पेक्ट्स पे आज हम बात करेंगे राम नायर सर से। राम सर, आपने टाइम निकाला मेरे चैनल पे आने के लिए, सबसे पहले बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका। और कनाडा से आप आज आए हैं और आपके मेरी फ़ोन पे बात होती रहती थी, सो इट्स अ प्रिविलेज हैविंग यू ऑन माई शो सर। वेरी थैंक यू सो मच, पहले तो आप आए, अपने टाइम निकाला। सर, दूसरी बात ये है, ये लाइफ कोच आजकल हम बहुत सुनते हैं इस बारे में, तो इस वर्ड का मतलब क्या है? पहले तो हम यहाँ से स्टार्ट करेंगे।
So I think people that say they're a life coach are trying to help people with their life, right? In to improve it. I actually say performance coach.
परफॉर्मेंस कोच।
Because everything is about performance. So आपकी जो परफॉर्मेंस है कैसे अच्छी होगी, चाहे वो बिजनेस में हो, चाहे वो स्पोर्ट्स में हो, चाहे वो रिलेशनशिप में हो, कैसी अच्छी होगी, इसको आगे बढ़ाने को पीपल हैव सॉट मी आउट कि आप थोड़ी सी मदद कर लें।
ओके, तो सर आप जैसे स्पोर्ट्स पे बहुत ज़्यादा इन्वॉल्व हैं, ओलंपियन भी रहे हैं आप, और स्पोर्ट्स में भी आप कोचिंग वगैरह देते हैं, तो क्या डिफाइनिंग मोमेंट था आपकी लाइफ में कि आपने सोचा इस पाथ पे चलना है, लाइफ टू बी अ लाइफ कोच?
कुछ तो आपको अपने आप से भी लड़ना पड़ता है, कुछ आपको देयर इज़ अ ग्रेट मूवी कॉल्ड शॉशैंक रिडेम्पशन, राइट? उसमें क्या वो बोलता है, देयर इज़ अ लाइन इन इट दैट आई हैड टू स्विम थ्रू अ रिवर, एंड पार्डन मी, बट थ्रू अ रिवर ऑफ शिट टू गेट टू द लाइट। ये जो जर्नी है टू गो थ्रू दिस गोबर, सो टू स्पीक, एंड उसके बाद लाइट दिखने को, आई हैड टू डू दैट माई सेल्फ। एंड व्हेन आई लर्नड कि इसको नेविगेट कैसे करना है, एंड आई शेयर्ड दैट स्टोरी, पीपल स्टार्टेड सेइंग, यार रियली कैन यू हेल्प मी विद दैट, कैन यू हेल्प मी विद दैट? मैंने बोला, यार हेल्प क्या है? हेल्प इज ओनली दैट आई कैन टेल यू व्हाट आई वेंट थ्रू, व्हाट आई डिड, हाउ आई डिड इट, and if that helps you, fantastic, you can use those lessons. What happened after that was truly remarkable. It was ki one after another. Do you know that आज के दिन तक मैंने कभी advertise नहीं किया?
ओके,
आज के दिन तक everybody has referred me. Somebody has said, तू इससे बात कर, तू इससे बात कर, तू इससे बात कर.
द वर्ड ऑफ माउथ।
That's it. And there was a time somebody said, why don't you market this? मैं कहा, देखो ऐसे है, market, I don't need to market because somebody comes to me, right? That, and number one, and number two, I believe in something very strongly, which is कि when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. जब तक कोई आदमी, somebody is not ready for it, they'll not be ready to change, you know? And so why should I advertise something and somebody doesn't want?
So sir, if you had to distill your entire life coaching thing, life coaching career in one word, what it would be?
I would say learn to read the book of yourself. हम सब किताबें पढ़ते हैं, उसको देखते हैं, उसको देखते हैं, ये देखते हैं, we follow channels, we follow so many things, but have we learned to read our own self, our own thoughts? पंजाबी में एक बात बोलता हूँ कि पढ़ पढ़ आलम फाजन बने हो, नफ्स अपने आप ਨੂੰ ਕਦੀ ਪੜਿਆ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਅਸਮਾਨੀ ਉੱਡਦਾ ਪੰਛੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਘਰ ਬੈਠਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਫੜਿਆ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ.
Correct.
So I think that that is really important, is you have to form that relationship with yourself. Who am I? Not only who am I, but why am I who I am? That second part is probably more important. What is my motivation? Why is that motivation there? What am I getting out of it? You know, I think we've spoken before, and I said I use a WWW philosophy. And the WWW to me is, what do I want? Why do I want it? And what is so important to me about it? If you can learn to be honest and answer those three questions, you've taken the biggest step you could possibly take to realizing who you are.
सर, ये आपके पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस से मैं पूछना चाहूँगा कि लाइफ कोचेज़ जो होते हैं वो दे आर बॉर्न लाइफ कोचेज़, और लाइफ में हुआ कोई इंसिडेंट उनको बनाता है कि चलो मैंने खुद की मदद तो की, बट दे आर मैनी पीपल हु आर सफरिंग, आई हैव टू बी देयर गाइड, आई हैव टू बी देयर मेंटर. आपके केस में क्या था?
So I think coaching is a calling. My mother is a teacher.
Okay.
So maybe that's somewhat genetics. I thought I'll be a coach, I'll be a teacher. As I said, when we talk about life coaching, or we talk about performance coaching, that is a happy accident, in the sense that I've been coaching and teaching for 25 years.
Correct.
उसके बाद कुछ सीखने को मिलता है. And originally I didn't want to talk about these things. I didn't want to really come out, but somebody gave me a really good idea. उसने बोला भी देख, you know, somebody makes really wonderful chocolate chip cookies, and somebody comes to your house and you sit them in the front, but kitchen से एक खुशबू आ रही है, that freshly baked cookie जी, but you never bring it to them. Isn't it a shame that you wouldn't bring that to them, that you wouldn't share that cookie with them? Here's a cookie, try it. So I think in all of that, for me at least, the idea was very simple, that I have a certain knowledge, I've gained a certain experience, I've been through some things, I've traveled extensively throughout the world, and if I can share, if my experiences help somebody else, why not? Why not help somebody else?
सो लाइफ कोचेस आर मोर ऑफ अ प्रैक्टिकल, बेस्ड ऑन प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपीरियंसेस से आप बनते हैं. आप भी अपनी लाइफ में लोज देखते हैं, तभी आप उसको रिलेट कर पाते हैं, और इट इज़ अ टेक्स्ट बुक थ्योरीज कि आपने किया और आप बिकम अ लाइफ कोच.
You've asked a very good question. Unfortunately, today there are a lot of life coaches out there. They call themselves.
That's the point, yeah.
Right? You can take a weekend course and you can be a life coach. You know, somebody I know had done the same thing, and they were a waiter in a restaurant. अभी waiter से उसने एक हफ्ते का या 2 हफ्ते का कोर्स किया, उसके बाद अपना कह रही है मैंने लाइफ कोच है. Now you have to ask yourself a question. What are you basing that experience on? Like, if you decide that you want to go see a life coach, it's like seeing a doctor. Right? You want to know, sure. See, here's the thing. Anybody can be a doctor. Can we agree with that? Anybody can be a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever, because it means you go to school, you get your degree. But how good is somebody? That's what we call practice, right? That's why we call it in Canada. We say this person has a law practice, this person has a medicine practice, they practice medicine. Through that practice, you figure out who's good and bad. So I'm, maybe I sound terrible, maybe I don't, but I think you have to actually look at the person, you have to interview the person. I'm going to get advice about my life on the record. Do I just take their word for it that they're a life coach? How old are they? What have they gone through? Age may not be a factor, but what are their experiences that they can share with me?
Correct.
Where is their knowledge base? I mean, I've done master's levels coaches in psychology, and I've done, anthropology, and I've done all kinds of things. Plus, all of the other practical experiences in life bring you to a point. हम इस देश में किसी को उस्ताद या किसी को पंडित जी कब बोलते हैं? तब बोलते हैं, बच्चे को नहीं हम बोलते कि पंडित जी। पंडित जी कुछ देर आई प्ले तबला, सो टू बी अ पंडित जी इन तबला, तबलेवादी तो बहुत है उस्ताद, पर उस्ताद वो कोई और आपको जब उस्ताद बोलेगा, it will happen probably when you're past 50. Correct. So you need these, I believe anyway, that you need these practical life experiences. Would I go ask somebody to guide me on my life that has simply only done this tiny little course? I wouldn't.
सर सोसाइटी में एकदम से ही हम देख रहे हैं आज सोशल मीडिया का टाइम है, तो इंस्टा पे जब हम लॉग इन करते हैं तो देर आर वेरियस लाइफ कोचेस। सो एक डिमांड सप्लाई का भी एक खेल है। तो मतलब आपको क्या लगता है सोसाइटी में आज क्यों इतनी ज़रूरत पड़ गई है लाइफ कोचिंग की या लाइफ कोचेस की, कि पीपल आर चूजिंग इट एज अ प्रोफेशन ऑल्सो?
Oh, why people are choosing it as a profession is simple. It's because they want to make some money. Maybe they were not being successful in. So I mean, I must say,
But there must be people who are looking for the life coaches also.
Of course. But what I'm saying is we're looking. So I'm gonna two parts.
Okay.
People become life coach to have a living.
Okay.
I must say that while I do this, I have a business. I'm not reliant on what I'm doing. Right? This is not what it is. This is not my full time. This is not what I do.
Correct.
I do it. My wife will often say, "मियाँ तू सारा टाइम काम ही करता रहता है." It's not. I love helping others. I love to see that transformation in people. And so as much time as I can put into it, I put into it. Some people may say I do this all day. If you only know me as a life coach or as a performance coach, you will think that that's what I do full time. But in practicality, I have a business.
Correct.
Right? I do something else. Now, why people are looking for this service? That's even simpler. We have gotten away from our essential family units.
Okay.
Especially in a country like India, when हमारे पास दादा थे, चाचा थे, नाना थे, नानी थी, जो भी था, we were living in a joint family. तो अगर माँ बाप ने डांट देना तो चाचा चाची ने संभाल लेना, अगर किसी कज़न से लड़ाई हो लेनी तो दूसरे कज़न ने संभाल लेना. Like, we always had so many people to help us with our problems. If I had an issue, I could say, I have this huge family, मैं उससे बात करूँगा. क्यों? He'll help me. मैं उससे बात करूँगा. She'll help. I'll talk to my mama, or talk to my chacha, or talk to so-and-so. Now we don't have that. Now we're becoming very much like an individual unit. And if you ever study Carl Jung, and we study his psychological principles, we understand the idea of isolation. See, when a child is born, they believe the entire universe is them. You know why? Because they're sitting there, they're crying. A hand comes in and it feeds them. A hand changes them. A hand makes them warmer. A hand makes them cooler. A hand washes them. So they believe that the entire universe is there to serve them. And in a joint family unit, we had that because we had so many people to help us. But as that child grows, then they start saying, well, these two people are close to me. Those two people are a little further. Eventually, वो बच्चा क्या सोचता, मैं तो अकेला हूँ एकदम, मैं अकेला पड़ गया. And that is why we need. There's a need and a growing need. The more that we isolate ourselves, the more we need other people.
The spirit of competition, the fast-moving atmosphere across you, and the need of materialism, are these factors also driving people to anxiety, depression, and that is why we are needing more life coaches?
Yeah, I think we are at a place, abhi Kali Yuga hai. Very practically, it is in the sense that everybody is comparing everybody to everybody else. Remember that I come from sport. It is the nature of sport to compare.
Correct.
Right? Because I'm in competition. I have to beat so-and-so. If I'm not as good, if I'm better, if I'm worse, and so on. But the issue is that even a win is not satisfying me anymore. Because now I'm winning not for myself, but I'm winning for somebody else. I want that girl in the stand to like me. So I win.
Correct.
तो अगर वो नहीं है तो फिर क्या करोगे भाई? Right? We cannot be competing against somebody else. Our only competition is with ourselves. And until we understand that, we are destined to be, pulled in 90 different directions. So remember this, either you learn to push your own buttons or something or someone else will do it for you.
So, sir, what is the most powerful transformation you have seen in some of your clients? You must be having clients. So, ऐसा कोई example जो आपने मतलब एक 360 डिग्री पे उसकी लाइफ टर्न अराउंड हो गई हो तो?
So 360, I like saying 180, but I can tell you that the number one thing for me is when a person goes, you know what? I feel happy. I feel I'm good. I had a multi-millionaire who said that he was discontent, right? And he didn't know why he was discontent. He was at a point कि वो सोच रहा मैं बीवी को छोड़ूं, मैं बिजनेस में जाता ही नहीं हूँ. मुझे उस आदमी ने अपनी बिजनेस जीरो से बिल्ड करके 24 मिलियन तक आ गया. 24 मिलियन से ओवर 100 मिलियन. एंड एट दैट पॉइंट कहता है मुझे तो मैं सिर्फ आधा दिन जाता हूँ, मुझे देखने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं. ओके, बट मैं थोड़ा सा I'm empty in myself. And I don't know why. I think मैं philanthropist बनना चाहता हूँ.
Okay.
मैंने बोला ठीक, no problem. So why do you need me? Get some ideas on philanthropy. मैं क्या okay, no problem. उसको एक दो idea दिए. Remember, always my approach is always कि थोड़ा सा ना उसको let that person think about what he's saying, and I fire back to them what they are saying. So I said, okay, what kind of philanthropy? I want to help this and this and this. I want to help put lights in here, and I want to put buildings there, and I want to build a school here. I said, okay, no problem. And I said, now let's just start talking about those steps. Guess what happened? It's not making me happy. I said, so actually you're seeking happiness, huh? I said, when were you the most happy? When I was building my business. Okay. And I said, but you don't want to go to your business anymore. He said, I don't need to. I said, but maybe you should. I'm bored with this, I'm bored with that. Do you know that I started encouraging him to go back to his business? And when he did, he discovered that his executive president, that person that he had put in charge, उससे ही चोरी कर रहा था. जब उसने वो देखा, all of a sudden he got reinterested in his business. And then when he got reinterested in business, he got reinterested in his wife. He got reinterested in his children. He got reinterested in himself. And he said, I never thought that that's what I had left. I said, yeah, हम कहते हैं ना, we say, my dad used to say always, कि जो फूल होता है ना, जिस बाग से आता है, वही फलता है. Because his practical, but he had gotten away from it because he had started, in fact, now this is exactly the opposite of what I was saying. He had moved away from materialism, and that was making him unhappy. And I guided him back to materialism, and it made him happy. Now that didn't mean that because he was not a materialistic man, he went on after that. He has gone on and done so much philanthropy. He's done so many good things. And he continues to do good things, and he's so happy, but he's also taking care of his business. I think that's a very odd answer to your question, but it's very practical.
So, sir, how easy or tough it is for your life coach or for you, if somebody comes to you feeling totally stuck, what is the first thing you noticed about that person, or you tell him to work on that thing to assess this, what is missing? How tough and easy it is for a life coach to
see, most people that are stuck don't know why they're stuck. Okay, they don't know why. There's a feeling of malaise. यार मुझे पता नहीं, I don't know क्या है, बस मैं खुश नहीं. मैं उनसे ये पूछता हूँ, एक just one question. Are you happy? Yes, I am. Tell me what makes you happy. If they can't answer that question, they're not happy by definition. और जो 99% लोग हैं, अगर मैं उनका पूछूं, फिर then I also ask them a second question. What do you love? Like, what is it that you actually love? If they can't answer that question, I know they're also unhappy, right? So that, I don't know if that answers the question, but it's certainly leading into that.
What is the first advice we usually give it to the people?
I have a checklist, and I hand them a checklist.
Okay.
I said, answer these questions.
Okay.
Those questions are in a few different areas of their life, and what happens is it's basically a spider web, and if that spider web is not evenly balanced, they can easily pick up which area of life they're finding that discontentment in.
So, sir, what is the role of spirituality in, being as a life coach or suggesting somebody to remedies or something to get back to their old thing? And is it any role of spirituality in these things, or this is totally a practical thing and has nothing to do with spirituality? Because we have seen in many videos, people are trying to art of manifesting. People are trying to give this, give more, expect nothing. These are something which is derived from spiritual things. So, what is the role of spirituality in all this?
I think there's a see, spirituality and religion are two different things.
Correct.
Number one. Number two, I think spirituality has a big place if it has an understanding behind it, a practicality behind it. So I find कि जो गुरबानी है, it has a lot of very practical things.
Correct.
Even Upanishads have very practical things. Like, for example, Guru Tegh Bahadur's last sham, which was done at the time of his martyrdom, उसमें क्या बोलते हैं कि मन कहाँ बिसारियो राम नाम, ऐ जग तूए का पहाड़, तै साचा मानियो कर विचार. The idea is very simple. Is it spiritual? Is it religious? But the idea is very simple. कि मन कहाँ बिसारे हो राम नाम, तुमने जो राम का नाम है, भगवान का नाम है, कहाँ भूल गए? The practical part, that's the spiritual religious part. The practical part, ऐ जग तूए का पहाड़, that this world is but a cloud of smoke. तै साचा मानियो कर विचार. You think it to be real, think about it.
Think about it.
Now, if we think about that in a practical way, and we say that, we have unhappiness because I'm chasing a girl, I'm chasing wealth, I'm chasing an ego-driven goal, I'm chasing fame, right? That is the cloud of smoke, ना? और इस पे विचार करो भी, अगर सब कुछ मुझे मिल गया तो मुझे फिर क्या मिल गया? Will I be content?
Correct.
And there is a fantastic film, an old film called Chariots of Fire, and it's based on a true story. And the true story is about these four runners. And one of the wonderful moments of that is, एक आदमी जीत जाता है. He wins the race. And all of a sudden, he's left in a question. And the coach says, leave him alone. अभी वो जीता है. So what was going on? That's up to interpretation. Why was he quiet? Why was he not jumping up and down? मैंने सब कुछ कर लिया है. Why? That is my answer to people when I say कि आप पहले सोच लो कि आप हासिल क्या करना चाहते हो, फिर उस पे चलो. Not just because you think winning will be a good thing, not just because you think wealth will be a good thing, not just because you think dating the best looking girl will be a good thing, not just because you get the fastest car will be a good thing. पहले ये सोचो भी उससे मुझे मिलेगा क्या.
तो सर, एज अ लाइफ कोच, जब आप पब्लिक डीलिंग कर रहे हैं या कभी ऐसी भी मीटिंग्स आप करते होंगे जिसमें आपकी पर्सनल मीटिंग्स हैं, बिजनेस मीटिंग्स हैं, तो एज अ लाइफ कोच आप सेंस कर पाते हैं कई बार कि somebody is pretending to be happy in front of you but there is something missing. As a life coach, did you get that thing in your mind, that intuition in your mind, working on so many people? So कई बार ऐसा होता है कि you understand that something is missing, somebody is yelling at you, let's say, or somebody is frustrated. So can you sense that there is something missing as a life coach? Can you
see, is somebody pretending to be happy? Maybe not. But what you always know is when somebody is frustrated, when somebody is quick-tempered, when somebody is despondent, दैट्स अ सिग्नल, मतलब वो तो सिग्नल है ही है कि इनमें कुछ ना कुछ समथिंग इज मिसिंग। रही बात खुशी की, एनीबडी कैन pretend to be happy. I always look at how somebody laughs. Or a belly laugh. Right? When they are actually happy, carefree, when they're controlling their happiness, it's very easy to see. It's very easy to see. I'm very happy, I'm very happy. And then all of a sudden their mind has gone somewhere else. I'm not a psychic, है मैं वो देखता नहीं हूँ भी उसके ये हंस रहा है तो हंस रहा है, I'm taking it. But what you want to do is I mean I don't try to judge people, but I'm saying what they're saying will be more telling than what they're doing. What they're saying, how they're acting will be more telling than what they are even saying. Right? And you see, I find a lot of unhappiness in this world. A lot of unhappiness. One of the things that if you ask me why do I do it is I think somebody said why do you do this? I said, I'm here to burst people's bubbles. What do you mean? I said, well, I'm not trying to burst anybody's bubble, but I'm saying I'm trying to help them in that, okay, what is it that is going on in their life that is making them unhappy? No, socho. Kyo soch rahe ho? Right? Again, if you look at what talk about spirituality and practicality, सोचे सोचना होमी है जो सोची लाख बार, कितना सोचोगे?
थैंक यू राम सर, आप मेरे शो में आए और दिस पॉडकास्ट इज़ एक्चुअली वेरी इंफॉर्मेटिव। काफ़ी हमारे व्यूअर्स को इनसे मेरे को लगता है बेनिफिट होगा और हमारे पास जो पर्सनल क्वेश्चंस भी आएंगे मैं डेफिनेटली आपको फॉरवर्ड करूंगा और व्यूअर्स को जो है कोशिश करेंगे हम उनके हर सवाल का आंसर दे सकें। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर टेकिंग ऑफ द टाइम्स।